Yes, ma'am.
Well, this doesn't look like everybody. Richard, Tom, Kay. Okay, does this look like everybody? Welcome back. I'd like to thank everybody for coming again. I'd like to introduce our guest with the media, John Emerling with the Fremont County Crusader, Tay Jefferson, KRLN. There he is, front seat. Thank you. Thank you both for coming. Just to start this out, I thought I would let you all know so that we can get ready. We know what we're up against. We have 254 days, 10 hours, 2 minutes, and 7 seconds until November 3rd. Is everybody ready? I hope so. At this time, I would like to open our afternoon segment with the Pledge of Allegiance. Great. Good job. I'd like to thank Ray one more time for his service and for every veteran in this room. Thank you so much for your service.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I didn't realize we had so many veterans in here. Why not? Our guest speaker is a man who I've gotten to know not only during the last governor's race, but in the months since then. One of the things that I find to be remarkable about Greg Lopez, and that I would challenge every candidate in this room today, to be able to stand up and step out no matter if you lose the primary, no matter if you lose the race. Greg Lopez has walked in every one of your shoes. He's also walked in the shoes of a man who could not win the race for governor. He's back. He's been back. He's never left the side of Republicans along the way. Some Republicans who run, they run, you see them, they're a flash in the pan, and they molt like a canary, and you never see them again. It's been my honor to work with you, Greg, across Colorado. It's my honor to have you here today. I give you Greg Lopez, running for 2022 Governor of Colorado.
It's great to be here in Fremont County. As I walked in and I saw the venue, the first thing that came to my mind was God and country. This is what it's all about. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes with you talking about a message that I think is really important for us as we move forward, in 2020 and also in 2022. But before I do that, I want to share with you a small video Wow. You know, I don't know about you, but every time I hear that song, I stand a little taller, I sit a little straighter, and I'm proud to be an American.
Yeah.
You know, what I want to share with you today is that, you know, we need to take that spirit, that patriotic spirit that we feel every time we hear that song, and we gotta let it light a fire in our belly. Because, folks, we are in a war. We're in a war for our country. You know, we either have a choice to preserve our republic, or we will sit home and allow it to become a socialist country. You know, and I don't think we want that for anybody. How many of you were you at President Trump's rally? You know, I thank God every single day for President Trump. You know, I truly believe that there was divine intervention to put him in our highest office. Because not only has he brought God back to the public square, but he's fighting for all those God-given rights and freedoms that he has given and bestowed upon us. And we need to support him. You know, when I tell you that we're in a battle, I need you to also remember that we are outnumbered. You know, there are 1.3 million active registered unaffiliated voters. There's 1 million active Democratic voters. And there's only 980,000 active Republicans. So what are we going to do? You know, what we need to do is make sure that we have candidates like these gentlemen, these ladies out here that are willing to have a message, that they are strong and they're bold and they're courageous. Because let me tell you this, in every election, it's about values and beliefs. And in every election, there are winners and there's losers. And the winners are bold and they're courageous and they talk proud about their values and their heritage and they stand tall for what they believe. Losers are timid, they're cautious, they're worried about what's going to happen with the vote. I think it's time for us to be winners. I ask you today, stand with me. Let's make sure that from this day forward, we become winners and not losers. How many of you are with me? You know, they say that the life of a nation has a lot of different processes. It goes from bondage to spiritual awakening. From spiritual awakening to great courage. From great courage to abundance. From abundance to complacency. From complacency to apathy. From apathy to dependence. And from dependence back to bondage. I don't need to tell you where we are right now. You know, when we have the leading Democratic nomination for president, a self-proclaimed socialist. You know, he wants to take us from dependence, from apathy to dependence, so that he can find us in bondage. Now, I don't know about you, but I am not going to allow that to happen. We need to make sure that we mobilize and we unite and we fight, folks, because once again, we need to get President Trump reelected. You know? Yeah. We definitely do. You know, he is, what I tell people, you know, the reason that the Democratic Party doesn't like President Trump is because he's a leader. You know, it's been a long time since we had a true leader in the White House. You know, someone that tells you what he's going to do and then actually does it. You know, the one thing that they hate the most about our president is that he's making America great again. Yeah. You know, no longer are we being looked down across this continent, across this world. We are now leaders once again. You know, and he's remembering all the things that we as Americans stand for every single day. You know, I don't know about you, but I got so upset when I heard Bloomberg talk about farmers.
Yes.
You know, can you imagine the audacity of that guy? You know, trying to minimize the hard work and the backbone of our country. You know, I need to send him a little note and remind him of what President Dwight Eisenhower said. You know, farming may look easy when the plow you're using is a pencil and you're 1,000 miles away from the field. He has no idea what he's talking about, you know, and we need to make sure that people remember that rural Colorado is important. You know, it's all 64 counties. You know, I don't need to remind you about the darkness that's come upon our state. The darkness is coming upon our country. You know, when you look at what just happened in the first legislative session, you know, they passed the red flag bill. They passed the sex education bill. They went after our oil and gas industry. You know, they're doing so many things. They even are tried, thank God that we are able to vote it down come this November. But remember, they tried to take away our vote for president, the national popular vote. You know, here's what I'm voting to do as governor. I think it's time we introduce an electoral college system for the state of Colorado. All statewide elected officials have to come out to rural Colorado. Not hang out in the urban corridor, not hang out in Denver, Adams, and Arapahoe, and Jefferson, where all the population is. They need to come out and understand that where their water comes from, they need to understand where their food comes from, and then more importantly, they understand the life and culture that makes Colorado the great state that it is. You know, we got a lot of work to do, folks, as we come forward. You know, but I want you, how many of you are happy with what's happening in the state? How many of you are mad? Now, I need you to take that energy, I need you to take those emotions, and I need you to light a fire underneath you. Have a passion to fight. Because here's the deal, we will only have as much freedom as we're willing to fight for. And you know what? If we band as one united voice and we stop the bickering, we stop the finger pointing, and we stand tall behind each other, and remember that we're fighting for God's country, we're fighting for America, we will win, and we will turn Colorado red again. Yeah. You know, when I talk about turning Colorado red again, I'm not talking about just getting more Republicans elected. I'm talking about changing the mindsets of unaffiliated voters, of the minority voters, of the millennial voters. You know, they need strong leadership and guidance to make sure that they understand that we're here to make sure that they live the American dream. You know, in closing, I want to leave you with this. You know, 2020 is our year. This is the year that we raise an army that's willing to fight for our liberty and our freedom, an army that's willing to die for everything that we stand for, because that's where it's at right now, folks. This is our year to set the term of the debate, to re-elect President Trump, re-elect Cory Gardner. This is our year to win back the State House. This is our year to make sure we have Republicans that are strong, that will defend our moral characters, our values that God Himself has given upon us, and not waver at the time that there's controversy. And we need to be standing there behind them. You know, the thickness of darkness that is covering up our state, it is allowing the light of liberty to flicker, and the tree of freedom to wither and die. It's up to us. I urge you, join me, stand with me as we fight for the state of Colorado and make sure we make Colorado again. Will you work with me? Yeah. Will you fight with us? Yeah. Let's make Colorado again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
He's going to be saying that a lot. So thank you for that voice, Greg. At this time, I would like to ask all of the candidates to please come up on the stage, and I believe, I don't know, you choose the way to go. So, thank you. I want to remind everybody to please have your cell phones turned off. Secondly, we're going to open up the forum this afternoon, and we're going to start going across this way in terms of the candidates individually presenting you their platforms. And when we have the closing arguments and the closing platforms, we come back this way. I hope everyone has had the opportunity to submit your questions in writing Mary Patty, are we supposed to accept questions or not?
If anyone has anything they haven't brought up to me, that I'll need them right away.
She'll need them right away. Secondly, Mary Pat's going to be our timer. If anybody has been through the merciful way that she does this, and you grant all my mercy,
I tell.
good luck all of you. Because when she says it's over, and she makes me scared.
All the candidates, I'll be sitting right in front. I'll put my one finger up when you have 1 minute remaining. You get 3 minutes to respond to all the questions.
Okay, is that are we clear then? Everybody, 3 minutes to begin for each one of you. 3 minutes at the end. Any questions in between? Mary Pat has visually screening the questions, and we're good to go. All right. So, Jim Morris, you get to be first. And there's a mic there if you need it. Sure, you can whatever you want.
Well, first off, thank you for being here today. I'm Jim Moore, and I'm a candidate for the District 1 County Commissioner seat. I would like to start by thanking the Royal Board of Republican Women for hosting this event, so thank you very much. In 2001, I moved my family from West Cliff to Penrose. We instantly became involved in 4-H and youth athletics and the Park and Rec District, and Fremont County became our home and has been ever since. I've worked for the Department of Corrections for the last 22 years. I started my job as a correctional officer, and I worked my way up through the ranks to Administrative Services Manager where I'm at today. Throughout my journey, I had the privilege of serving as the commander for the Special Operations Response Team. That enabled me to work with the Canyon City Police Department and the Fremont County Sheriff's Office closely in a number of large-scale events and special assignments, and to build that relationship, to carry that relationship, and use it in the rest of my career. I also got to serve as the state's emergency manager for 2 years. So incident management, like dealing with the wildfires or the floods, is something that I'm very familiar with. You know, I also managed a number of budgets. Not just at that 50,000 foot level, but at the ground level where you put that budget into practice and you provide the goods and services that are required every day. You know, this commissioner seat in Canyon City or Fremont County is divided into 3 districts, but the commissioners make decisions that affect all districts, and all of the county gets to vote on every position, so they're kind of at large. So even if I don't live in your district, you have an opportunity to vote for me as your commissioner. 3 of my top priorities include creating a 12-month economy, not just a 6-month economy, reducing our homeless populations, and reducing the quantity of drugs in our communities. Okay? In closing, let me say this. I'm not a career politician. I don't have all the polish and the glitz that some others do, but I've developed some strategies, and I've vetted those strategies with folks in the right circles, and I believe I've got positive solutions for some of our problems. I'm Jim Moore, and I'm your candidate for District 1 County Commissioner. Thank you.
We now have Wayne McFall. I'm sure y'all know this.
Since Jim started us up here, I gotta come up here too. First of all, yeah, I want to thank the Republican women for putting this on, but also John Still and Dan Meeks and everybody here at the church for allowing us to be here. It's a great venue. Timmy said something a minute ago that kind of struck with me. He said that all of us up here are brave for doing this. I don't consider it being brave. I consider it being a passion. community that I live in. Fremont County is a great place to live, it's a great place to work, it's a great place to play. And I feel that this is my opportunity to give back to everybody in the county. I am the current Fremont County Commissioner for District 3, and I am up for re-election. District 3 is 2/3 of the county, but as Jim just said, we take care of everybody in the county. It doesn't matter where you live, on which border, which corner, which side, we take care of you. My door is always open for anybody that has a problem or has a concern or just wants to come visit. There's a lot of stuff that I deal with that I dealt with my first term. One of them, a lot of stormwater issues. You always hear about stormwater issues in Canyon City. Well, we have them in the county as well. We spent a little over $3 million up at the Haiti Pass on the burn scar, protecting properties down below. We're going to have some more. We're already in the works on the Decker fire. We're going to have some more flooding, so we're chasing money for that all the time from the feds and the state. When we first started with the Haiti Pass fire, there wasn't any money available. Through persistence, I just kept on the state, finally got some money from the state. That was matching money for federal money to come up with the money where it didn't cost us, Fremont County, at all to get these projects done. So I'm not afraid to get out there and persist. We've had some issues come up at the state level. Here in rural Colorado, as Mr. Lopez said, it's very important. Rural Colorado was left out. Those people in Denver kind of forget about us. When the red flag bill came into committee, I jumped on that and immediately and started working on a resolution along with the other commissioners. We passed the red flag sanctuary. The Second Amendment is very important for it. Doesn't matter if you live in rural or in the urban areas. So I'm willing to fight for us, the people, we the people, because we can and will make a difference in rural Colorado is where it starts. And as a commissioner, have that ability to be able to push forward through the state and federal levels. Again, I'm going to call Fremont County Commissioner District 3, and I hope to get your continued support to get re-elected for another term. Thank you very much.
Well, I'll change the dynamic. I'll sit here if everybody can see me okay. My name is Kevin Grantham. I am running for Fremont County Commissioner, District 1. Just to give a little bit of my experience, I have worked here in this community for over 20 years. I have over 24 years of business experience here in Southern Colorado. During that time, I also served for 3 years on Canyon City Council right here, and for 8 years in the citizen legislature in Denver as a state senator, and 7 of those years in leadership, elected by my fellow Republicans, and 2 years on the Joint Budget Committee overseeing $20 to $30 billion budgets as they ever increasingly grow in this state, and the last 2 years as the state Senate president, also elected by my fellow Republican caucus members. I believe I have much more to offer when it comes to service to this county and service to the people of Colorado and rural Colorado. Those experiences that I have qualify me, I believe, to be county commissioner for the people of Fremont County. I still believe, as I have fought for Fremont County, for the people of rural Colorado, I still believe in the principles, the bedrock principles that were laid down for us by our founding fathers. I still believe in the sensibilities of rural Colorado. I still believe in the rule of law. I still believe in the personal responsibility, individual liberty, fiscal restraint, free markets, all of these things that I fought for. Most importantly, the main thing that I fought for, and especially as president the last 2 years, was able to stop those pieces of legislation like the red flag bill. When those came across my desk, they were dead on arrival. Every single gun control piece of legislation. I also fought for positive change in our Second Amendment laws as a state senator and legislator. Still believe in less government. And less government equals more freedom. And I still believe that every single one of those principles does not find its source in man, but in God. It is those values that were ingrained in me, and it's those values that I still fight for, and have fought for, and it's those values that I want to continue to fight for the people of Fremont County. Thank you very much.
Ron Hank.
Yeah. Somebody's phone's up here.
Church Conservancy for opening up a venue. I gotta say, the older I get, the more I like stained glass, and this rivals some stained glass I've seen in some pretty old churches in Europe, so nice to be allowed in and take a look. Again, my name's Ron Hanks. I'm running for House District 60. I'm a 32-year military vet. I retired at the end of 2017. I was an officer. I was an enlisted man. I split my time about evenly between the two, active and reserve. By the end of it, they credited me with 24 and a half years of active service. Had a great career, met the best people in my life. People come up and say, thank you for your service, but it was my honor to serve with so many good people and get to know Americana from coast to coast and north to south. I ended my career in 2017. Might have put in a few more years. My folks needed some help. And here's your phone blowing up. And I would have stayed in, but I looked around, and after I gave my folks a hand, I started looking at the politics, and I'm getting nervous about where we were. I became a delegate here in 2018, an alternate county, but a full-on delegate up in the state. And it really kind of opened my eyes to what we need to do now in this upcoming election, and to try to turn the tide of tyranny. And to that point, I want to just say thank you, Greg. You're way ahead of the curve on this, and getting out there and meeting people, that's what we need to be doing now. And I joined this race in October. I left the position of the Fremont County Secretary, so there was no implied conflict of interest. But we've got a real socialist onslaught coming on. We've got these guys giving away our electoral college votes. We've got them teaching sexual topics to children too young to understand. They abolished, they've regulated the oil industry to the point where oil is not as interested in being here. I worked in the oil industry up in North Dakota, did some fracking, and I'll stand up and defend it against any criticisms. The people doing that work are conscientious, hardworking, smart, blue-collar types, and I was proud to swing a hammer with them. Lots to do. I'll say maybe some of the rest of the remarks for the closing, but we've got our work cut out for us, and I appreciate you guys being here as we talk issues and the specifics of where we intend to go. Thank you.
I think my also that it doesn't cause any more distractions. So. We have Stephanie Love.
When I was a little girl, like all little kids, I had a dream of what I was going to be when I grew up. I wanted to be a lawyer. And then when I was in second grade, I decided I also wanted to be the President of the United States. Now, the Constitution was a very big thing in my house. I can remember being in second grade and reciting Paul Revere's Ride to the American Legion. And then when I was allowed to produce my own presentations for those speech contests, I almost always spoke on the importance of defending the Second Amendment. When I grew up and went to high school, I participated in a program in DC, a young leadership program. And through that program, I learned about a group of individuals who were defending religious freedom here and abroad. And I said, that's what I want to do. I want to defend religious freedom. I couldn't believe how many Christians are being persecuted around the world and how many religious freedom violations there are in our own communities. So I went to college and I went to law school, and after law school, even though I had an opportunity to take a big salaried job and work in international commercial arbitration, I decided to pursue the international religious freedom route. So I moved to Canada because, as you might know, a number of their decisions are imported to America through our courts. And so I went up there sort of as a legal missionary to stand in the gap and to say, no, we need to defend first principles. We need to defend unalienable rights. I love that work. I absolutely love that work. And when I moved back here, I continued the fight. If you all are familiar with Masterpiece Cake Shop, the Supreme Court decision that gave Jack Phillips the right again to, well, let's not get into legalities of exactly the framing of that, but basically it restored his ability to act according to his conscience in his business. I was working behind the scenes in that case, helping a man named Bill Jack on a different aspect, and the Supreme Court responded to that. They used that as part of their argument. You can look it up if you want to talk more about it later. I'm happy to do that. All of that to say, I have spent my life defending our Constitution, our unalienable liberties. It's interesting because last year, after I lost the state Senate race, I went to teach at Liberty Tree Academy, a first-year charter school, Hillsdale affiliated, in Colorado Springs. And I was shocked to discover that many of my students from public schools did not know the Pledge of Allegiance. On Constitution Day, it was my job to teach the fullness of 6th grade about the Constitution, and boy was I excited, because this is my area. And so I started this presentation and asking them questions. They looked at me with blank stares, because most all of them had never heard of the Bill of Rights, or the Constitution. Many, I'm getting anyways, my desire in running is to preserve that which I understood as a young girl when I heard that same song every day with my Desert Storm bracelet, soldier bracelet on, and every time it told you to stand up, I remember standing up from my couch, hand over heart, and committing myself to defend this country and its principles, and that is the desire of my life, and it has been my life thus far. You can take time from behind.
Next, Robert, sorry. Too many R's at this table, I'm telling you. Robert Business, thank you.
Listen. That's a no. There it is. All right. Hey, what's going on? I'm Robert Disney, and I'm running for House District 60. Thank you very much for being here today. I really appreciate you coming out. This is a fantastic crowd. I'm really glad to see you guys here, and I'm really looking forward to your questions. I grew up in Illinois, and at the age of 19, I entered the United States Air Force. I wanted to do something special. I wanted to serve. I wanted to serve, and I wanted to represent people. I wanted to save lives. So I entered the United States Air Force and became an Air Force pararescue. In pararescue, I was a special operator, and my job was saving lives. I went out and I provided hope to those who had no hope left. And often, I was able to snatch the mouse right out of the cat's mouth. I did that job for 21 years. During that time, I achieved the highest enlisted rank in one of the most elite career fields in the Department of Defense. And at the top, at the pinnacle of my career, I led all combat search and rescue assets in the entire theater of Iraq and Syria. So why am I here? I didn't retire here by accident. I moved here in 2017. I retired here with purpose because I wanted to find a place that I could live according to my values, on my land, in my home, and exercise my rights as a Republican and as a conservative, and as a retiree, as an American citizen. Why am I running? Because I want to represent you. Because you have a voice. And just as I want to rescue those who had no hope left when I was in the military, I want to do that same thing for you. Colorado has turned into a blue state. We're being taxed. Our backs are being taxed so that Denver and so that urban areas can support their liberal agendas. Not with me in office. Not with me in House District 60. I'm not going to see that happen. Absolutely not. One of my favorite things to say when I was a Chief Master Sergeant in the Air Force was, not today. That's not going to happen. I am willing to go to Denver and stand tall against the Democrats in Denver and tell them, you keep your liberal policies in Denver, but you don't bring them here to rural Colorado. Urban policies do not work for urban Colorado and for rural Colorado. And as long as I am your representative for House District 60, I will ensure that those liberal policies stay out of your homes and your lives. I'm Robert Disney. I'm a candidate for House District 60, and I need your vote.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tom Ledoux, and I'm running for District Attorney. The last time you elected me as your District Attorney was 12 years ago, and those of you who are around may remember that I always used to start these speeches about making a joke about how young I looked. And now that I've got some salt and pepper gray hair here, as a result of being the District Attorney, I guess I don't need to start my speeches off with that joke. At the time it was convenient as a politician, I always had a baby around to kiss, and that baby now is in middle school, my oldest daughter. And if she heard me talking about her up here, she would barely raise her head from her phone and say, "Dad!" I grew up here in Canyon City. My parents are here. That makes me a little nervous. Apparently they haven't decided who to vote for. I grew up a couple of blocks from here. My mom used to send me with a couple of dollars down to what's now the Fremont Annex building. It was Canyon Market at the time to get milk and groceries and ride my bike back home. My dad's here. He gave me the best birthday present ever when I was 10. That was a lifetime membership to the NRA. I celebrated my 13th birthday because it meant I could join the Colorado Junior High Power Rifle Team. I was handed an M1 Garand and placed on the range in the Buffalo Creek Gun Range. For the next 5 years, I went to the national matches in Camp Perry and competed with all assortment of assault rifles. And so you can probably guess how I feel about this red flag thing. I started my prosecution career in Pueblo, Colorado, nearly 18 years ago, January 2003. Worked in Pueblo until 2006, and then I had the opportunity to come back to my hometown. My wife's here. I think you can all guess that I was pretty lucky when she said yes. She grew up here in Canyon City too, and in 2006 we had the opportunity to come back to Canyon City to work for the district attorney here at the time, Molly Chilson. In 2008, you elected me to be your district attorney, and again in 2012. I was back working in the district attorney's office when Governor Polis decided, for whatever reason, to appoint a Democrat to serve you in the district attorney's office. How do we feel about that? I think your district attorney ought to be a Republican. I think your district attorney ought to know what they're doing in a courtroom, ought to have 18 years of experience as a district attorney, and I think your district attorney should be from here. And I submit for that district attorney, I'm asking for your vote. Tom Ledoux for district attorney. Thank you.
Last but not least, at the very end, another R, Ron Parker.
Well, I get the honor of thanking the Republican ladies and for Dan donating the church here. So that's my honor to do that. And the first thing I need to do is I need to say I'm sorry to all the Italians in the audience. If you all know, Friday, the House killed your day. They killed Columbus Day. And now they want to make it Greedy Day. And I think that is so wrong in so many ways. He was an explorer, no matter what they said. He was a good man. So with that said, my name is Ron Parker, and I'm running for 47, and I'm tired of these partisan votes right now that are going through. I'm tired of the kill committees going through. When they didn't let the doctor represent the baby being born in an abortion, I told my sister-in-law, who's a staunch Democrat, and she's actually in my district, I said, "Do you know what they do with that baby?" And she goes, no, I don't. She goes, they wrap it in a blanket and they put it in the corner to die. And I'm going, that's appalling. If a woman came from Asia to this country and the baby was born in this country, it now has the rights of a U.S. citizen. That baby was born alive in the hospital, and we're letting it die. I can't let that happen. Because when I came to Pueblo in 1985 out of the service, I served in the 82nd Airborne. I reactivated the 1st Special Forces group up in Fort Lewis, Washington back in 1984. But when I got here in 85, I went to school, earned one of my first 3 degrees, my last one being a master's in education. I know what I'm talking about. Bree does not, I'm sorry. She doesn't know what she's talking about. But I have my master's. I started teaching, then I went into the correctional field. I did 28 years with the Department of Corrections. The last 23 of them, I was the high school math teacher for the youthful offender system in Pueblo. So I know what corrections is about also. I'm not afraid to say that about that. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to these things. There's a lot more issues I would love to talk to you about, but the most important one right now is family and life. Life is more important than anything in the world, and that is God's creation, nobody else's. It is our right to defend the life of a child. I would love to talk about the Second Amendment rights, but like I said, my number one priority is the life of a child. My name is Ron Parker. I'm running for House District 47. Please look me up on my website, parker47.com. Please, we have to change this. One of the legislative branches now. We can't have the legislation going through the way it is. It is going through so fast, one way. Thank you for your time.
We're going to switch timekeepers. Nikki tells me that she's even worse than Mary Pat. Mary Pat is going to be in charge now of giving all the questions that you were so good about submitting. And so let's go for it, Mary Pat.
Okay.
Do we use that one?
I talk pretty loud. Can everyone hear me? Okay. I am going to say who the question is for. It's either for all candidates for a race or more than one race. And I'm mixing up the order of who answers first. So, this first question is for our county commissioners, and Jim and Kevin and Dwayne will answer it. This regards the Fremont County Sheriff Department 1-cent sales tax. Do you support placing this back on the ballot for approval when the sales tax sunsets? And if tax questions fail, what will be your plan B?
Is that how it's going? Okay. So, in short, yes, I do support putting this measure back on the ballot. Because it involves a tax, it involves your opinion and your vote. Should this fail, I've met with Sheriff Cooper and they've got some backup plan. I would have to sit down with our county manager and budget manager, kind of look at the allocations and see where maybe there's room to adjust the allocations. But it would be in consultation with the sheriff's office. That's not